I just realized I started another video. I could go on with Ghostbusters 2 again, like at the end of the video, but I think I already gave the movie a rating. It's a 5 out of 10. That movie, I gave Ghostbusters 2. So, let's talk about another 5 out of 10 and we're not crazy about, but I don't hate. Toy Story 3. The only Toy Story in the film that got a mediocre rating in the Toy Story franchise. Now, what's my problem is this movie takes itself incredibly seriously to the point it's kind of laughable at times. And disturbing laughable. And the Chinese Toy Story, instead of a buddy comedy or sort of adventure, or sort about identity and adventure and bandsmen stuff, blah blah blah, they really thought it was great to turn this, for some reason, movie into a heist film with the Toy Story characters. And it kind of works sometimes. It's basically a heist film with a bit of a spy tone to it. It's so weird at times, but it also kind of feels like it's working at times. So the plot of the movie is, now despite I do really appreciate them trying to do something different, I don't appreciate that they didn't succeed well at it. That's why I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. So the plot is a movie that Andy's all grown up, going to college, and he's asked mom that's completely ship, wants him to go robe up here and get rid of his toys, but Andy's not ready to get rid of them yet. So he wants to hide them in the attic. And right when he's about to hide them, his mom calls him, the toys run, because they think they're going to get thrown away. Huge misunderstanding, but Woody witnessed the whole misunderstanding of what was really going on when he's out, because he was outside the garbage bag that was going on in the attic. And he tries to explain the whole situation, but nobody believes him. Not even his best friend Buzz, which seems oddly out of character for Buzz for me. And everyone else. The fact that nobody's actually believing Woody and thinks he's lying. Why would he lie about that? I don't understand. So this leads to another outcome of them going to daycare. And them getting almost totaled by these daycare kids. That make them lose a bunch of body parts and all paint and shit, and Buzz almost gets eaten by one because it goes in the mouth of one. And they're all throwing the toys on the floor. It's just, and they're all thinking it's gonna be nice experience, but what they don't understand that daycare kids can be kind of reckless sometimes. Not all daycare kids, but a good chunk of them. It's like half and half. Like, you know how every half a kid is an asshole, but every half a kid is an individual, and the individual population is good kid. This every half of woman is that bastard college bitch. Other half of women are decent. Not saying these kids are bad, just that they can be reckless. Now, not all of them around that age is reckless, for we see this kid Bonnie, who plays with, who takes care of her toys perfectly fine, and not reckless, who are actually looks about to be around the same age as the kids from daycare. Maybe slightly younger, but anyway, we get introduced to her, and from Woody's point of view, and that ends up who the toys end up going with instead of going into Andy's attic, because that's how Andy ends up giving the toys to. In the end. Because Woody suggested it to Rowan and Andy, and Rowan a notepad for Andy to read, saying to give it to this kid. Which is so, that's how they fall in the hands of Andy to Bonnie. Which leads into Toy Story 4. It's a better movie. Now, this is a very convoluted movie. I know that's what you're saying, but that's because it is. And the main focus of the villain of the movie is teddy bear that smells like strawberries. Pink teddy bear that sells the scent of strawberries. That his reason why he's an asshole and villainous character, and he's a shitty character, and the reason why he put Buzz on, turned Buzz from on to on demo, to switch from on to demo, is for him to do like basically the bodyguard and keep the toys in check, make sure they don't escape the cages, so they don't escape daycare for. His reasons that he was replaced by his original owner, and like Big Baby and the clown, trying to figure out through his life. Say he saw like that she only replaced one toy, and that was him. Not all three of them. But how is that any better? And how is that big of a lie? That's not that big of a lie. That's a bit of exaggerating the truth a bit, but that's not a big lie. Or a little white lie. He probably we know he didn't lie. As far as you know, he saw like him replaced, so he probably figured, and since she was his favorite, she probably figured the same thing that she replaced the other ones too, and probably say she replaced all three of them. And said that to Big Baby and the clown, and well, Big Baby never figure it out, put two and two together. Something was off with his statement, but the clown saw exactly the replacement. So, yeah. So, we calls him out on his monarchy bullshit. When he comes back to daycare after escaping daycare, come back to daycare for a second time to free the toys and to get them the hell out of there. When it's all different bad punishment, fucking painful consequences for trying to escape the first time. So, turns out the toys are now free to leave. None of them are. And they don't know this until it's too late. And this when they wanted to leave, they found that Annie's looking for them, because, Miss Potato left her eye, so apparently she can actually see and hear, despite being her only barb had been her eye left behind at Andy's place under the bed. Not the ear. So how can she hear what Andy's saying and her mom saying when they're having a conversation back and batting forth and forth to each other? He's looking for them, and finally she's looking for them. That he wasn't going to even throw them away and just put them in the attic. They find out, found out, and found out, oh, holy crap, I bet Buddy Woody was telling the truth. No fucking shit, Buzz, in every way. I'm sorry about that. That problem really bothers me, because that's really stupid not to believe Woody at this point. Because Woody is your buddy Buzz, and everyone else's buddy. In fact, it's funny because they know Woody well enough to know that he doesn't really lie, to make up stuff like that. Oh. So, this is my problem why I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. That major plot that bugs the hell out of me to this day. Since movie came out in 2010. Yeah, it's been that long. Toy Story 3 has been that long out for. It was 2010s. Each days of those years. So, they all decide to bust out of it with Woody's help plan, foolproof plan. And the guy was talking to Woody, that's a little telephone, and saying that it's not going to work, you're not going to get out of here with your friends this time. you might as well just leave your spice up before they see you. And after they'll break me, only to be later to reveal one of the reasons why their plan, Ice Plan got all fucked, is because that person, that toy sang like a bird. And they finally broke him. And he's sorry to what he's saying. They broke me, kid, or sorry. Finally broke me. So, yeah. So I guess he's been torturing for years like the other toys have been. And the newcomers too. I mean, you only got people that, the bear is basically the whole sheriff of that place. That madhouse. So Barry falls in love with this guy called Kent. Yes, Kent is in this, that toy Kent. He makes his debut appearance in the Toy Story franchise. And he decides he cannot find another Barbie. As many of the Barbie might, there might be another playing Barbies out there. There's not one that's right for him. There's not going to be another one right for him. So he ends up taking her side and ends up facing his doom along with the other toys while they're on the way to the incinerator. The flaming pits of the incinerator. But they save their own skin. And Ken helps. And they all help each other out and get out of the incinerator before they get incinerated. Then Woody confronts the bear on his lie, and then Big Baby turns on him, throwing him in the incinerator for revenge for his mama because of the lie he believed. Because he misses his mama. That probably also replaced him, chances are, by now. So, which is Big Baby's, I guess, redemption arc, I guess. That's his name. I kid you not. And, this is when Baby was like going to throw him in. This is when Baby was like basically going to throw him in the incinerator. Boy decides to basically just take away his position, power and position, and basically not let him get incinerated, but let him get thrown in the garbage. Where a garbage man that's wearing a garbage man's uniform picks up the bear and decides to take it in. Because he remembers that he used to have one of those, a bear like that, just like that when he was a kid, that smelled like strawberries. And, so Woody and the gang all leave the daycare, and, that's when Woody makes the decision that he's like, his life's not gonna be the same without Buzz in the gang. So he's going to miss them too much, so he decides to come with them and write the note saying everything to Barney. And Woody, this one, and his vehicle pulls on Barney's backyard and gives all the toys to Buzz. Gives all the toys to Barney, including Woody himself. Because he was like shot the Woody got in there. And it looks like he was going looks like he was going to keep him, but didn't realize that he decided to say how much he loved Woody and how much he meant to him as a kid growing up. Which, the monologuing is a little disturbing when you look at it in hindsight from a different point of view outside the content of the movie. And the world the movie's built on. And it's very scary. If he's saying this to a stranger, while he's talking to how great, it was great at some point once he actually, until he got to Woody, it was cute, But when we got to Woody, maybe I'm thinking maybe you actually should keep that Woody. Because, you know, nobody's really going to appreciate Woody like he did, you know? I'm thinking myself, like, maybe because he's like saying so much things about Woody. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe you're not ready to let go. But he goes go and says plays with his toys one more time, including Woody himself with Bonnie. And we're all supposed to be happy, but I'm just thinking, how's the girl not peeing herself? After that, well, the stuff she said about all the hearing how much Bonnie talked about Woody as his best friend growing up, and he still is to this day. It's like, you know, as he's staring in Woody's eyes. That's what I'm thinking myself in this trying moment. So, as he played one more time with the kids, he goes up to college, rides off to college, into the sunset, and Woody's looking at, and Woody and all the other toys looking, remember, Woody looks back at Andy one more time, and after Andy looks directly at Woody. So, yeah. Now they're all born to Bonnie's, which leads into Toy Story 4. A much less convoluted movie that has a much better flow and narrative and a better story, and less creepy. In places that that's trying to be charming. In other words, it doesn't have any problem that Toy Story 3 had, you know? I think my problem why Toy Story 3 has probably, it was like trying to be, there is such a thing as probably too ambitious, probably. And Toy Story 3 suffers for that. Being too ambitious to want to end it on in the third one, and I appreciate for being ambitious, but there's such thing as too ambitious when, you know, in execution, it's not really a 10 out of 10, and it comes across, when it's executed, and it be a final product, and it ends up being a 5 out of 10. Instead of a 10 out of 10 once it gets executed. For the fact it's too ambitious, I mean, I think the reason why it's too ambitious, it's too fucking short of a movie, because it has so many ideas, so many story elements that it wants to struggle, and jokes too, because it's Toy Story, it has to be funny at some point, and so much height it wants to share. It would have been better if it was just a 3-hour movie, or a 3-hour and 40-minute movie. Or something like that. It was just like, it would have been better if it probably was just at least around 3 hours long, maybe longer. Because the runtime for the movie, it feels like there's too much story, too many ideas, too many things going on in the kitchen, and what you end up getting is not really a masterpiece, but more like a, you know, passable, enjoyable for a moment, which is a 5 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. So yeah, that's my problem with Toy Story 3 and why it's my least favorite out of the Toy Story movies. Out of all 4 of them.